They can't admit to themselves that your character is better than theirs. The type of love you showed them can't be replaced. All right? They can't admit to themselves that your character is better. And it's not that you think you're better than them. It's just that you have a better character than they do. You've undergone some growth. You've undergone some life changes. There are certain things you used to do that you don't do anymore. The type of person that you used to be, you're not that same type of person anymore. You've done a full 360 because you had no choice. You wanted to self-improve. You wanted to make yourself a better person. That was what you chose to do. That's what you wanted for yourself. And this person has some work to do. And there's nothing wrong with having work to do on ourselves. It's not a race. It's not a competition. It's not a who finishes first type of deal when it comes to working on being a better person. All right. You want to be the best kind of person that you can be. You don't want to be you don't want to be someone that people don't want to be around. And if you have to work on yourself, and there are certain things that you're not working on yourself, it doesn't make you a bad person, but it may mean that it's going to be difficult for people to be around you. It may mean that people may find an issue with the way that you act. And this could be any of us. You know, this is why old folks used to say, you better get your act together. You better get your act right. And this is why some people tell you you can come get some act right. But anyway, you have a good character. All right. People actually you've probably seen people act fake and try to be a better person than you. It's just that you have a good character. It's who you are. Everybody wants to be I'm not even going to phrase it that way, but people want to be good people, and you being real and you just being a genuine person is just naturally who you are. It's not a fake. It's not an act. It's not putting on any kind of front. You're genuinely being yourself. You have other sides to you. It's just that you have a side to you that you tend to show to people more than the other ones. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody should have multiple sides. You're not being fake. You just have other sides to people that you show more than others. And then you have some sides that are on reserve. You got your jick side, your just in case side, the side that you have when you may have to show it to someone, but you would rather not. But if you have to, you will, kind of thing. But they cannot admit to themselves that your character is better. And it's better because you've made it better. Not better than them, but better than what it used to be. They can't admit your character is better than what it used to be. They can't admit your character is better than theirs. And your character is better than theirs. There are certain things that you know a person needs to fix, but it's none of your business to try to help them with it unless they ask you. So once you realize that, you know what, I can't help this person, like when you try to help people, but you can't help them, it's going to be a waste of time. People can want help, but if you can't help them, you can't help them. And there are some people that are just going to have to see for themselves because they're not at that level yet to where they're able to receive the type of help you're trying to give them. You want to help them. You want to help them improve, but they're not ready yet. They're too immature right now. They're not able to take accountability for their actions and the things that they say and the things that they do. And some of their behavior doesn't warrant your level of growth. All right. Some of their behavior doesn't warrant. I wasn't picking y'all winner. My nose was just itching. Their behavior doesn't warrant your presence. All right. There are some people who you're going to realize that, you know what, I might have outgrown this person. I might have grew past this person. I might be on another level than this person. I might be out of this person's league. And that's not a bad thing. Sometimes you have to leave people and give them time to grow. And sometimes you just have to leave so that way your growth doesn't get cut off or stopped or stunted or cut short, because you don't need that. But if someone is stopping your growth, if someone is getting in the way of your progress, if someone is holding you back, it's because that their character is on a different level. All right. And we're not saying that they have a bad character. We're not saying that they're a bad person. What we're simply saying is that they have some things that they could work on. We all do. We all have. Just because someone tells you you need to work on yourself doesn't mean this person isn't currently working on themselves. Doesn't mean that that person is perfect. Doesn't mean they have anything wrong with them. And it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. People are too offended. People take things offensively instead of taking things constructively. All right. When you try to baby it, when you try to put it in the best way that you possibly can, when you try to say it without being offensive, when you try to keep it real but keep it polite, keep it light, so that way everything will be right, and you still can't help the person see the light, is really not going to benefit you to try to keep forcing a way on someone that they don't want it forced on them. A person forced against their will is of the same opinion still. You can't force people into being who you want them to be. But sometimes who they want to be will force you out of their life. It'll happen like that sometimes. We can't make people into what we want, but their attitude will make us go where we want to be, away from it. So it's not necessarily the person sometimes, it's just their attitude. Sometimes people have attitudes they aren't willing to work on, which causes you to have an attitude, and then they're so used to their attitude, you having an attitude for their attitude, they'll think that it's you. Oh, you got an attitude, you got a problem. I wonder why. You're trying to deal with this person and how they are and the type of person that they are, and it's just you're just seeing that you're incompatible with them. You're seeing that this person isn't a good fit for you because their value systems don't match, their character isn't up to par. It needs some working on. They need some working on, and it's not a bad thing. We're not taking a shot at anyone. We're not taking a dump on anyone. But what we're doing is we're not going to allow people to hold us back or to muddy up our character or to lower our vibration because of the type of person that they are. And your cutoff game has to be solid. It has to be official. It has to be quick. It has to be elite. All right, it's not something that you play around with when you cut people off. If you have to cut someone off, it is usually done for a reason, and a good reason at that. Sometimes you don't get along with people. Sometimes you're not meant to be with people. Sometimes people aren't meant to be with you. Sometimes people aren't meant to be in your life. Sometimes y'all not meant to be in each other's life. It is what it is. You don't have to hate people or get mad or get frustrated. You just have to realize that, you know what, I'm on a different level than this person. I have to go off and do my thing. I'm on a higher level than this person. I have to go off and have to do what I have to do. Otherwise, I'm going to be brought down to the level that this person is at. And, it's not that they're doing it on purpose. It's just the fact that if they don't work on themselves or don't do that work on themselves, you can't be around them necessarily all close up in the face like that until they do. Because it stands a chance of ruining you and what you have going on. And you don't want to self-sabotage. You don't want to destroy yourself just because you're trying to be good to someone else. You have to be good to yourself first. You can't just be good to other people and not be good to you. I know the song is just be good to me, but you also need to look at yourself that way and say, you know what, I'm going to just be good to myself too. I'm going to make sure that I'm good to me too. And by being good to you is keeping around people who are of good character. You want to keep someone around that's of good character. You want to keep someone around that has a positive attitude. You want to keep someone around that is not going to cause problems or cause you to be anxious or have anxiety or be stressed or to be worried. All right, that's no good when you have people who cause those feelings to pop up in your life, especially when it's from things that they say, things that they do, the way that they are. All right, and we can't change people, but we can change directions in life. We can't change people, but we can change our directions in life. Can't change people, but we can change what direction we're going. We can change where we're going. We could change who we're with. And when you realize that someone's character is not up to par with yours, it's best to seek other options. It's best to do something different. It's best to go somewhere else. It's best to be with other people. Some people their some people their character just is what it is, and that's who they're choosing to be. The reason why some people are the way they are is because that's what they like. They choose to be that way, and they're not going to change for you. I'm not changing for the likes of you. Some people like being toxic. Some people call it, have names for it. They call it being themselves. Well, I'm just me. Or, well, you know how I am. Or, yeah, well, you know how he is. Or, you know how she is. Or, they get that way. That's just who they are. But, well, birds of a feather flock together. If you can deal with that, if you can put up with that, if that's what you want to encounter every time you encounter them, by all means, eat your heart out. Have a whole time with them. Have a whole day with them. You go off and you do that. All right, that you handle that. You do that. But for you, the person who has some sense, the person who's not in that group, the person who's not in the in crowd, you might not want to be dealing with that. So if a person can't admit their character is jacked up, that means that person is not going to be able to admit any mistakes they make. That's a dangerous person. They're not going to be able to admit any faults, any wrongdoings, anything they do that's not right. So basically, this person will have you feeling like everything is your fault. This person will have you feeling like you're not doing anything right, or you always got to improve some way, or you always got to make up for something. People who are manipulative, when they deal with other people, they're always projecting and making it seem like somebody else is doing it when it's the other person. You're the reason why they had to act like that towards you. You're not the reason why they had to act like that towards you. The reason why they act like that is because their characters, because of who they are, it's because of what they decided to become in life. And now they're trying to basically make you feel like you have something to do with it, or try to get you to justify it in your head. Well, I did this and I made her act like that, or I made them act like that, or I made him act like that. They do that to try to get you to change and focus on you instead of focusing on them. If you focus on them and what they were doing wrong, you probably would boogie and leave and go someplace else. But if you're more likely to stay if you think it's you and you're trying to fix yourself and make sure that whatever you do, you don't do it again. So that way, this person will act in a different way. Don't let people take you through the ringer like that. When someone's always trying to get you to change, someone's always trying to get you to not be who you are, or not do what you do, or not be yourself, this person may be trying to get you to settle for less. and be okay with their standards instead of your own. You're supposed to have standards. You have to have standards. And when people know that you have standards and they start to see you, wait a minute, something ain't right here. Once you can tell that this person is not who you thought they were, or they're not what you expected them to be, they're going to start pointing the finger at you because you're recognizing them for who they truly are. And if they don't like themselves, or they know that it's something up with them, when you're able to tell and able to see it, that's when they're going to start, you know what, you're wrong. This is wrong with you. They're going to start projecting because they're not doing that work on themselves. If they would go do some work on themselves, they wouldn't have the need to be around other people. And as soon as somebody noticed something about them, they wouldn't have to project. Nobody would be noticing it if they worked on it, and they wouldn't be projecting it onto anyone if they worked on it. But these are things that they may not know because they may not care to try to understand themselves or figure themselves out, or try to know, why am I such an evil person to people? Or why am I such a mean person to people? Why am I so nasty to people? Why am I always saying something messed up to somebody to try to make them feel bad because I feel bad about myself? They don't ask themselves, why do I feel bad about myself? Questions like that. Why am I unhappy? Why am I so sad? They don't ask themselves things like that. And this is why I made videos saying that you don't have to be unhappy. You don't have to be sad. You don't have to be miserable. Some people, if they think they have to be that, they're going to go through life, and it's something they may by default end up taking it out on others when they don't have to. You know, they're being this way involuntarily, volunteering to do something that you don't have to do. So whether they can admit to themselves or not that your character is better, you don't have to get into it with them over who has the better character. You just have to go off and have a better character. Once you realize that someone is not, where you would like them to be, like, unfortunately, this is where it becomes toxic and people start to compete with others. Once they realize that you're better, if they're bitter about it, what they're going to do is they're going to start to try to be better than you any way they can. And this is when it's about to be over. When the person starts the petty wars and they start competing, start trying to be better at the small things, and it becomes annoying and starts to get on your nerves and starts to irritate you. And better yet, they'll even start to gaslight you about it. Oh, I'm upset, or oh, I'm frustrated, or oh, I'm mad, or I'm irritated. They'll gaslight you right in front of your face about how you feel about how they are, because they know something is wrong with them. They know their character is bad. They know their behavior is off. They know they need some healing. They know they need some work done on themselves, because we all do. Some choose, the road down that path is not very traveled. I was just reading a Bible verse the other day where it was talking about how the path is few and far between. That Bible verse, where and basically that means a lot of people will veer off and go do evil and be wicked because not too many people want to take the path or the road to go work on themselves. Not many people will take the path to go work on themselves. That's how you have false prophets and people who talk about God, but really their actions are, other than what they speak about, because it takes work. You have to work on yourself. No one's perfect. We have to purge ourselves of those, those wicked acts, those ungodly deeds. We got to purge ourselves. And when people aren't working on themselves and getting themselves in check, they're just giving the damaged version of themselves to other people and expecting them to accept it. You can't give someone who's healed or healing or who knows what's wrong with you because they knew they had to find out what was wrong with them. You can't expect somebody who's healing to accept a damaged version of you when you're not trying to work on yourself. And we're not talking about damage like something that you go through. We're talking about damage like you're choosing to just be this awful person because something happened to you and you're taking it out on other people. That's not right. That's not good. And it's not good when things happen to people. We're not mad at people for that. I'm not saying your people's character is bad for that. But when you act a certain way to someone and don't care how you treat other people and don't care how you come off to other people and just expect people to accept it, that's the problem. That's the issue. That's when your character is bad. That's when a person's character needs some work on it. No one is supposed to just accept you and your bad behavior, and if they don't, it's something wrong with them. That's manipulative. That's how people try to play the game. You notice something's wrong with them, you don't accept them for who they are, and now this person sees you like you're the one who has an issue. You're the one who has a problem. You're the one who starts trouble. You're the one who is causing problems. And you aren't. You're not the one who is the person that has the character issue. Whatever issue you have, you would love somebody to tell you, hey, this is wrong with you. Thank you. And keep it moving. If there's anything wrong with you, you're the type of person that wants to fix it. None of us are perfect, but the more you work on yourself, the better you're going to be. You may like you could be perfect through Christ. You can become your greatest version. All right, you could be great. You could be perfect in Christ. It's a lot you can do. More than just give the excuse, well, nobody's perfect. That's an excuse, man, for people's piss poor, ishy behavior. Nobody's perfect, man. That's an excuse. Nobody's perfect, but you're supposed to strive to be your best. And I'm not saying you got to go run an Olympic marathon or be Michael Jordan, but when it comes to being kind to other people, all you have to do is just not be a jerk or an a-hole. You don't have to be Mother Teresa. You don't have to be Martin Luther King. You don't got to be Gandhi. All you have to do is not be an a-hole or be weird to other people. That's all you have to do. There's some type of treatment you wouldn't want, don't give it to somebody else. But when people don't play by those rules, you know you're being played. When people treat you in a way that they wouldn't dare let you treat them, that's an immediate cutoff. Immediate cutoff. When somebody is doing something to you they wouldn't dare let you do to them, immediate cutoff. When someone is giving behavior to you they wouldn't accept from you, immediate cutoff. Try acting like the way they act to you and see how it works out. But better yet, as soon as you experience something that is unbecoming of who you want around you, immediate cutoff. If it's going to stop your growth, if it's going to change who you are, if it's going to make you mean and nasty too, if it's going to make you just as evil, if it's going to make you just as negative, they say the energy of the people around you will rub off on you and turn you into them. If somebody's negative and you're around them long enough, it's going to rub off on you and it's going to turn you negative as well. And that's something that you don't want. You don't want your energy dirtied up with somebody else's negativity because they refuse to work on their character. It's a difference between knowing something is wrong with you and actually working on it and making amends with people and changing yourself so you won't behave that way towards others again, and then just saying, oh, well, you're not perfect, nobody's perfect, just whatever, except, and I'm just going to keep acting like this and nothing's going to ever change and I'm not going to become anything other than what I am for you. But then people will expect you to be go above and beyond and be super you for them. Manipulation at its finest. All right, so don't let it happen to you. All right, you have a good character, you got a good heart. All right, keep being that person that you're supposed to be. and don't let them change you into who they are. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Smash the like button, smash the share button. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.